And we are back, and there is the tip, and it will be controlled by the South. We'll get a whistle right away as Brian Shorman of Iron Mountain quickly with control.
Going back talking about the coaching, Dave, I played ball with Rick Oles and in the Old Timers League down in the Marquette area occasionally, and his brother Bitsy Oles, he and I played high school basketball together.
Back in 02. Steve Kontratovich of the Hancock Bulldogs into the lane, shot up, no good, rebounded by Shorman. We'll set the remainder of the South players for you. That shot up and no good from Don Bunnan of Iron Mountain. Outlet pass and a whistle along the sideline. We'll get the first foul in the ball game. Well, let's set them up for you. For the South, Kip Miller of Escanaba, number 40. Don Bunnan, 42 from Iron Mountain. 20, Brian Shorman of Iron Mountain. 14, John Wolf of Kingsford. And 44, Tony Cretin of Gladstone. Meanwhile, for the North, we've got Steve Matson, 21 of Ontonagon. 23, Steve Kontratovich of the Hancock Bulldogs with the red shoes. Into the lane is Dan Waterman, 35 from Ishpeming Westwood. Also in, you can pick up those other two numbers. 33, Jason Lasco of Westwood.
Nice pass by Brian Shorman.
Tony Cretin with the bucket.
In the air pass.
Shane Peterson with the three, the 6'2 Munising Mustang. 3-2 in favor of the North.
And a steal.
North ball, Waterman. We'll give it off to Steve Matson.
Both ball clubs setting up with a man-to-man defense. Should see some nice picking and rolling, as they say.
Kontratovich takes the feed underneath for the hoop. 5-2 North. Steve Kontratovich averaged 20.7 points a game his senior year for Mike Williams Bulldogs. First team all Westpac. Second team all UP.
Well, backdoor alley-oop. Not quite a slam there, but as effective. 2 points count.
Kip Miller of the Escanaba Eskimos. Matson for Kontratovich. Matson again, looking to the lane. Stops, puts it up, and will not get the continuation. We will get the foul, and that will be a push against John Wolf of the Kingsford Clippers. His first, team second. Matson will inbound. For Kontratovich underneath. Kontratovich, 4 points already for the North. Plans to attend Northern Michigan University. Not in a basketball capacity, though. Turnaround Jay for Kip Miller, and he's got 4 points.
It's a leaper. He's all dream team.
Second foul on John Wolf of Kingsford. 7-6, North leads. Girls won the South game, 99-83. Ginger Weber of Gladstone, the most valuable player. Three-point attempt, no good from Dan Waterman. South ball, pass for Shorman, and he can't get it to go. A little hard off the glass. Rebound, South gets it back, and the North will regain possession.
Little trick pass there that didn't quite work.
Little Globetrotters routine. Matson, the behind-the-back dribble. That was picked off, but picked up by Shane Peterson. Shane's three, no good.
Both instances there, Dave, of those last 2 3-point shots down the floor. If the young men would follow their shots, the ball would have been right back to them.
Well, one thing we will see from the guys is they will shoot that three. Nobody's real shy about it.
That's right. And in this kind of atmosphere, it's fun.
Strictly showtime. Shorman from Iron Mountain puts it up, draws the foul, won't get the ball to fall, but will go to the line.
Down here.
Brian Shorman, all-conference selection, all-UP Dream Team, all-state first team, heading off to Central Michigan, and looks like he would like to walk on further his basketball career.
For the Chippewas down in Mount Pleasant. Shorman's pass picked up by Don Bunnan. Inside, and that will go out of bounds, North ball.
Referees letting them play a little bit here. Probably could have been a couple of fouls underneath there, but let's let them play.
In an attempt to keep the game under 4 hours.
That's right.
Now, in the game of basketball, you could probably call a foul about every third or fourth second. Shot up and in for Jason Lasco.
Nice strong move to the basket.
Long three-point attempt for Britain. Won't go. Foul underneath.
Little over anxious. Brian Shorman over the back. Attempting for that rebound, but climbing atop of.
First foul on Brian. Team's fourth. There you see the score, 9-6 North. Steve Kontratovich of Hancock and Kip Miller of Escanaba leading scorers with 4 points apiece. North ball. Up top, 31, Clifton Young of Newberry as the North has their new lineup in. Pete Dix looks underneath for Jake Siselchik, and Jake gets the bucket and draws the foul. Pete Dix and Ewan Trout Creek's Alan Mackey in the backcourt. Up front, Siselchik of Ironwood, along with Cliff Young of Newberry and 43, Corky Parrish of Brimley. Meanwhile, the South has Leonard Thomas of St. Ignace. Number 30, Brad Leedy of St. Ignace. So a couple of Saints in the ball game. See if they can work a little magic, along with Sid Lucas of Big Bay to Knock wearing number 34. 12, Jason Lequier of Powers North Central. And that is number 34, Sid Lucas of Big Bay to Knock underneath. Don't want to forget Jason Forget, number 50 from the Kearney NATO Wolves. Foul is on Siselchik. Officials for today's ball game, Wayne Marshall and Tom Watson of Gladstone, and Escanaba's Tom Smith. First shot up and good for Sid Lucas.
Sid out of Beatty Knock, top team scorer, top rebounder. Had an excellent year. Strong young man underneath.
Makes it a 12-8 ball game. Pete Dix from Dollar Bay. Bringing it into the paint was Siselchik, and he ran into Lenny Thomas of St. Ignace.
That was one of those, well, maybe it's a block and maybe it's a charge.
Mackey will inbound it for the North. Go right off to Siselchik. He'll give it to Pete Dix. Pete got away from Thomas. Dishes underneath. Parrish into the lane, draws the foul, count it, and go to the line.
Good strong move to the basket and able to finish.
Second foul against Jason Forget of Kearney. Team 7 puts the North in the bonus.
Corky Parrish on the line.
Shot up, no good. Rebound South, 34, Sid Lucas. Thomas into the paint, looks for high school teammate Brad Leedy. Brad puts it up off the iron, no good. Rebound, Siselchik. Up ahead, shot off the glass, no good. That was Alan Mackey. Laquia of North Central. The ex-Jet dishes off to Thomas. Puts it up a little bit short for Len Thomas.
Luckily, I think he thought he was going to get fouled on that, held back, and he was all by himself underneath there.
Corky Parrish had it taken away, recovers, and will get the jump ball. And this one will go to the South. Corky Parrish, 6'2", Played for John Ackerman at Brimley, all-conference, all-UP second team. Honorable mention, all-state, 16 points a game as a senior. That shot long and no good from Sid Lucas. Mackey. Tom Cottle's Uniontown Creek Panthers. Pete Dix has it tied up by Len Thomas. And it'll be North ball.
Len Thomas doing an excellent defensive job on Pete Dix.
Of course, Pete Dix, that name not an unfamiliar one to Dollar Bay basketball fans. Pete's brother Dave, a star for the Bays, graduating in 1983, went on to play at Michigan Tech. Strong family resemblance. Even in the shooting style, Pete's shot no good, but rebounded. Clifton Young puts in the rebound.
South with a quick out-of-bounds pass. North has to hurry, get back on defense.
Selchik with the rebound. 14-8 North lead. Underneath, tipped away South ball.
A little bit of an overpass there. Ooh. About a 6-foot jumper. Probably should have just stood up and taken the shot.
Pardon my goof. 16-8 North, not 14-8. Steve Kontranovich and Jake Selchik with 4 points each for the North squad. Pardon me, Selchik with 3 and Shane Peterson with 3. Pass underneath, Selchik. Oh, nice play, Jake. He's got 5. Great control for the big man to put on the brakes in midair. Pass tipped away by Parrish out of bounds.
Both teams doing some running up and down. Getting quick shots off.
Len Thomas into the lane, had his pocket picked. Corky Parrish gives it off to Pete Dix. Corky Parrish to Brimley Bay. That'll be Jake Selchik. Jake for Mackey. Three-pointer, Alan Mackey. So the North spreading that scoring around. South trying to get some from Laquia, won't go. Pete Dix will bring it out. Pete's headed to Michigan Tech to pursue a degree in mechanical engineering.
Alan Mackey scoring that last three-pointer. He was the leading scorer in the Porcupine Mountain Conference with a 27-point per game average for the year.
That's lighting it up. Parrish works it out to Mackey. Pete Dix now guarded closely by Leedy. Long shot from Mackey. That one won't go. So Selchik on the rebound. And he gets the bucket and will go to the line. So Jake now with 7 points and a chance for number 8.
Jake's off to a good scoring start today. He's scored almost 1,000 points in his last 2 seasons.
Brandon Warland of Republic, wearing number 32, checks in, along with Brandon Lawson of Ishpeming. A couple of Brandons in the ball game. Jamie Kinnitz of Superior Central, 52, also into the game. Cougars, state runner-ups in Class D this year, or runners-up to be grammatically correct. Cleary gives it back to Terry Clement of the Jeffers Jets. Terry looks in for Tony Mino of Houghton. Underneath, pass off the hands of Jason Lasco. Selchik will come out now, and Munising Shane Peterson back in.
Both guys, big scoring threats.
Big guys. South ball, stepped down by Warwood, shot up and good. 2 points for the Republic Hawk, Brandon Warland.
Brandon to average right around 18 for the season.
Traveling called on Terry Clement. Kinnitz will bring it up for the South. One or two Kinnitzes to play for that Cougar squad. For Gary Flynn. Shot up, won't go. Rebound underneath North, and that was Jason Lasko of Westwood. Cleary. Lots Purple Hornet. Dishing off, Clement gives it to 53, Mino. Tony can't handle it, and it's South ball. Mike Lasardi of the Ishpeming Hematites. Gives off to Kenneth. Janey looking out to the side for Sid Lucas. Sid, fall away. Jay will go. No bucket.
No. Called it on the floor.
Seems like the referee was watching that to see if it fell before he made his call.
That's right.
Made the call, forgot to wave it off. Foul goes against Jason Lasko, his first, team's third. Shot up, no good for Brandon Lawson. South retains possession. Lasardi for 32, Brandon Moreland. Back inside, shot up, will it go? Yes, it will for Brandon Lawson.
South working around the ball well up front. A little kind of a minor weave and put somebody open for a nice little 6-footer.
Shane Peterson underneath, shot up and in, Jason Lasko. Jason's got 4 points and a 25-12 lead for the North. Way underneath Lasardi, and he stepped on the end line. Give it back to the North. North and South teams selected or divided roughly by the line created by Highway M28. Running between Ironwood and I-75 out near the Sioux. You live north of it, you play for the North, and there's a neat one.
You make the call.
Whistle.
That's right.
And give it to the other team.
At M28, is that anywhere near Marinesco?
You know, I think Marinesco lies just a little to the south of it.
Okay.
Out in the suburbs of Wakefield, actually.
I always get confused.
In the paint, turn around for Kip Miller, won't go, rebound. Coming out with it, Terry Clement. Terry kicks it down low. Tony Mino gets the hoop.
Tony 6'2" under there, but plays about 6'4", 6'5". He's a big, big young man.
Fake three by Lawson. This one will go for Lusardi. Don't think they've worked that play once or twice at the Hematites' home floor. Ooh, offensive foul charge on Shane Peterson.
Probably wouldn't have been a charge except to use his arm just to kind of give the guy a little push out of the way.
And a Heisman Trophy move.
That's right.
So Kinnitz will inbound it to Lasardi. Lasardi for three, no go. Rebound underneath. Comes down, shot up, won't go for Brandon Lawson. Foul again on the North.
Good hustle, good rebound, offensive rebound. The North not doing a real good job of boxing out at that particular.
Fouls on Lasco. Lawson from Ishpeming will go to the line. First one is up and good for Brandon. 3 points now on the day.
One shot.
40 seconds remain in a quick first quarter of the men's game. 9th annual UP All-Star Basketball Classic brought to you by Bresnan Communications and J.J. Shamrock of Marquette.
27-point effort by the North. Little 30 seconds left. Keep at this pace, we will hit that century mark here in the boys' game.
Somewhere late in the third quarter, I think. I tell you, Terry Clement did a heck of a job getting the ball in there for the North, and he'll take it back out high as his teammates were unable to convert off the pass.
Terry, a small 5'7" guard, but wiry and quick.
And it says in the game notes that we've been provided that Terry is popular and colorful.
That's right. That's what the notes say.
So we have no choice but to say, okay, Terry's popular and colorful. First shot, up and in for Jason Lasko. 5 points for Jason. Make it 6. 29-17. 12-point lead for the North. Picked off, shot up, no good for Shane Peterson, but he'll go to the line. North beating the South to the ball by half a step every time, but they're getting there and getting it done.
Shane was kind of hiding in the weeds there. With a good steal. And on his jump shot, turned his body to draw the foul.
Shane's got 3 points so far of the 29 scored by the North. Make it 4-30. 10 seconds to go. 30-17 in favor of the North. Kinnitz will inbound it. Lusardi will bring it up. Dishes off. Lawson for 3. Can't get it to go. Rebound, North. They'll kick it out. Clement at the buzzer. No good. After 1 quarter, it's the North 30, the South 17. We'll take timeout and be back with the second.
Casual dining at its best. It's the only place to eat. J.J. Shamrock, 113 South Front Street, downtown Marquette.
Now you see it. Now you don't.
Sorry, nothing up there but sky.
It's not just a new aircraft. It's a new technology called stealth. And it will make an airplane all but invisible to radar. So if you want a career in tomorrow's technology, take a close look at the Air Force. Because sometimes the biggest opportunities are the hardest to see.
Still nothing, sir.
Aim high. Air Force.
30-17, the North leads the South as we go to the second quarter in the 9th annual UP All-Star Basketball Classic. Dave Danis along with Dale Berglund. And Dale, North squad showing a little more quickness, a little more leaping ability, and a little more hustle in that first quarter.
Yeah, you take all 3 of those combining in 1 quarter, and you're going to end up with a score just like it is. But that doesn't mean the South won't come back.
North will control the ball. Steve Matson of the Ontonagon Gladiators. Gives it to Corky Parrish. Corky back up top for Young. Cliff's shot, no good. Kontratovich on the rebound, foul on the South. First foul on Brandon Lawson. North is in the bonus. And going to the line for the North will be Steve Kontratovich. Kontratovich in that first quarter, 4 points, first 2 buckets of the game for the North squad.
12 minutes of bonus shots could make a difference.
Kontratovich misses the front end. Lasardi outlets to Lawson into the paint, and the foul will go on Kontratovich.
Good foul by Steve. He was beaten to the basket. Would have had an easy layup. Just put his body in front of him.
Steal by Matson, and he had it knocked away by Brandon Worrell. I tell you, Steve Matson, this is a kid, 21 points a game his senior year. He'll play at Michigan Tech next year for new coach Kevin Luke, but conference MVP both his junior and senior years in the Westpac, and also an all-conference his sophomore year and a second-team all-UP player. Of course, he made the dream team and first-team all-state as a senior. Turn around, fadeaway Jay, no good for fours yet. Rebound, Corky Parrish. Corky will give it to Matson. Mentioned Steve on his way to Michigan Tech, among the first classes to come in for Kevin Luke, who recently replaced Jeff Cotilla at the helm of the Huskies program. Kevin Luke, a former Westwood individual. Long cross-court pass from Kontratovich to Young. Cliff gets it underneath on the give and go to Kontratovich. His bucket won't go. Rebound goes off to South, given back to the North.
Kondratovich doing an excellent job working away from the basketball, working himself free. You'll see him underneath, wide open. And it's just from the extra work he does away from the ball.
Dan Waterman of the Westwood Patriots gives it out. Cliff Young back up top for Matson. Drives, looks up, puts it on the glass, won't go, and it's knocked out of bounds. This time it will go over to the South. Rosardi takes it off on the wing for Brandon Lawson. Tried to go inside for Forget. Lawson shot up off the side of the bucket, no good, draws the foul. Newberry's Cliff Young draws the foul. His first, team 7th, puts the South in the bonus.
Brandon Lawson on the line, going to Lakeland in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, furthering his basketball career.
Nice school and a nice town. Second shot won't go. 5 points for Brandon Lawson. Matson.
That was from that first free throw. That was the first point scored in the second quarter.
Yes, it was. Took about a minute and a half to do it. Foul underneath on the South. Going to the line for the North will be Cliff Young. Fourth foul on Jason Forget with Carney-Nato, and you don't want to see that 2 minutes into the, or minute and a half into the second quarter. Probably will earn him some pine time.
We were questioning whether we were going 5 or 6 or whatever for fouls. We just heard the PA announcer mention they are playing with 6, allowing 6 fouls.
We saw that come about in the girls' game. One player fouled out. A couple others had 5 and remained it. Second shot for Cliff Young is up and good. 4 points for Cliff. 14-point lead for the North. The drive and a blocking foul will be called against Cliff Young. Or check that, Dan Waterman.
Dan not happy about the call, but he got there a little bit late.
How long do you have to have the feet set for them to be called set?
Well, we probably don't have that answer, and I'm not sure if there is an answer. It's one of those play it by ear calls.
Going to the line, Mike Lusardi, the Ishpeming Hematite. First shot up and can't get it. Corky Parrish tried to haul down the rebound. Getting a hand on it was Brandon Lawson, but Brandon knocked it out of bounds. North ball.
Mike Lusardi planning on going to either Alma or Olivet down in the Lower Peninsula. And appears he'll probably try to walk on. Play a little more b-ball.
Underneath for Waterman. He saves it. Comes out to Kontratovich. Head fake. Tries to get it into Corky Parrish and tosses it out of bounds. Lusardi logging a lot of court time here in this game. Ball out of bounds off the North. South retains possession. Lusardi inbounds up and no good for Jamie Kinnitz. Rebound will go for Jason Forget. Jason, the Kearney Wolf, 4 fouls, 2 points. I'd like to get those points up above that foul total. Kontratovich, good leap to haul in the pass from Cliff Young. Now it'll be Matson into the paint. Dishes off, outside, shot up from Waterman, 3. 35-20, 15-point lead for the North, 9:14 to go, second quarter. Dave Danis along with Dale Berglund bringing you UP All-Star basketball as we get a foul down in the paint on the north end of the court. And this one will go against Steve Kontratovich. Second foul on Steve. Going to the line for the South will be Brandon Lawson with 5 points on the day. First one goes.
Okay, guys, we got one shot.
Brandon averaged 18 points a game and so far has 7 here midway through the first half. Matson up top. Corky Parrish with the jumper. No good. Off the iron. Rebound South. Jason Forget. Lawson up on the wing to Warland. Brandon's shot will go. Three-pointer for Brandon Warland. 5 points in the game.
Nice soft touch on that one.
35-25. 5 consecutive points for the South squad. Pass underneath, tipped away by Mike Lasardi, but he will be called on the foul.
Not quite enough room there.
First foul on Lasardi, sending Waterman to the line. Dan's got 3 this afternoon. And that one will not go. Rebounded by Ginnitz. Lasardi inside the three-point line. Looking for Lawson. Nice bounce pass, and Lawson converts.
Nice assist by Mike Lasardi on that.
9 points now for Brandon Lawson in the ball game. Corky Parrish for Young. Cliff loses it. Kontratovich puts up the 3, no good. Check that, not a 3. Gets it back off the glass, can't get it to go. Gets his own rebound. And this one won't go. He'll shoot 2. Little frustration for Steve there.
Excellent hustle. 2 or 3 shots that didn't pay off for a field goal, but heading to the line for a couple of shots. See if we can convert.
I think Steve gets the award by runaway for most original haircut in either game today.
That's right. In either game. Either.
If one of the girls would have had a haircut like that, that would have been a walk-away winner, but we'll give it to Steve. First one in and out. And number 2 won't go. Rebounded, though, by the North. Alan Mackey gives it to Pete Dix. Peter for Kontratovich. Steve down low, off the glass and in for Shane Peterson. It's always kind of interesting when you're all of a sudden playing with players that you've battled for the last 4 years through high school and JV and even back into junior high that were on the opposing team. Now all of a sudden you're supposed to be buddies and teammates.
Well, it works for a day anyway. Actually, a whole weekend. They have a nice program set out here all weekend with brunches and barbecues. And
Friday night activities, pizza parties.
and along with the slam dunk contest, 3-pointers.
Shane Peterson underneath draws the foul. Sistelchik will check back in for the North squad. Kontratovich will grab some bench, and going to the line is Shane Peterson. 37-27 in favor of the North. They led it 30-17 after one. The South a 10-7 edge here in the second quarter.
Shane, Class ABC Player of the Year. Coming from out of the Munising Mustangs.
Can't get either one to fall. Shot up and good. Don Bunnan. Hey, Don Bunnan's a guy that can get hot in a hurry. Mackey was looking for a cutting. Pete Dix threw a little over the head of the Dollar Bay native and out of bounds.
Talking about the Don, or was it Tony Cretin that had that? 44?
Tony Cretin.
And the North Pole Singers will be once again.
Tony heading off to Michigan Tech with a scholarship, but for football, not basketball.
Multi-sport athlete. Taking a quick check on leading scorers so far. Jason Lasko has 6 for the North. Siselchik has 7. Shane Peterson has 6. Meanwhile, for the South, 9 points for Brandon Lawson. 5 for Brandon Warland. Take a look at some of the crowd here at the Eddie Chambers Memorial Gymnasium. UP Hall of Fame All-Star Basketball Classic. 10 new members to be inducted into the UP Sports Hall of Fame this year, including Escanaba's Dean Altabelli, Amy Dore, Bider Wyden of Marquette, Dave Holgren of Negaunee, Cookie Johnson, the Farragut coach, St. Ignace's Jim Lamoureux, Gordy Leduc of Marquette, the guy you know pretty well, St. Louis, or Sault Ste. Marie's Tom Ludwig, Bill Mikulich of Tronic, Mickey Moses of Escanaba, and Barry Pearson of St. Ignace will be this year's inductees into the UP Sports Hall of Fame.
Now, Tronic has to be made by Marinesco, doesn't it?
No, that's by Kiva.
Okay. I'm confused for the bazillionth time.
Traveling the call against the North. Have to mark that down. 6:31, second quarter. Men's game. The first time Dale used the word bazillion. I think Sully wins the pool on that one.
That's right. I had to sneak it in there.
Drive shot up, no good for Miller, but he does draw the foul.
Gonna give him a shooting foul on that.
Lasko gets the foul, third for Jason. Free throw number 1 up and good for Kip Miller, his 5th point.
Kip averaging over 20 points a game during the season.
Second one won't go, rebounded by Lasko. Peter Dix calling out the play for the North as he crosses the timeline. Guarded by Shorman. Pass off on the wing for Lasko. He'll give it back to Peterson. Shane for Mackey, had it blocked, gets the rebound. Cross court, underneath, shot up and in, partially blocked. It was Young on the shot, and I believe it was Kip Miller on the block. Check that, Tony Cretin with the foul, his first, going to the line with 6 points in the game is Jason Lasko. Hard iron on the right-hand end of the gymnasium. I believe that's the west end.
I think you're correct.
Second one will go. Well, let me see. One parallel to US 2, and that side faces Iron River. We'll call it the west end.
If that's the west end, why does the south get the ball?
Good question. Because it's the north.
Speaking of getting the ball.
Pete Dix, Dollar Bay dishing to Siselchik. Back out to Lasko, underneath. Shot up off the glass, can't get it for Shane Peterson. Second one will go. Jake Siselchik, his first bucket of the second quarter. 9 points and a 40-30 lead for the North. Lenny Thomas had some trouble hanging on to it. Got it right back. Or check that, Brian Shorman. Underneath. Pass was intended for I'm not sure who, but it ends up in the hands of Pete Dix underneath for Mackey on the layup. Nice ball movement by the North.
Good hustle.
And the South will call timeout. They trail it by 12, 42-30.
That was Peterson to Dix to Mackey.
Well, that all started back under the bucket when South player tried to send a pass and sent it a little too lightly. And it ended up in the hands of Peterson.
South trying to chip away. 12-point deficit.
It was 13 after one, 30-17 in favor of the North, so the South with a 1-point advantage here in the second quarter. Today's basketball game brought to you in part by J.J. Shamrock of Marquette, featuring the UP's finest outdoor patio dining overlooking Lake Superior. J.J. Shamrock, 113 South Front Street, Marquette, and Bresnan Communications, serving the UP with great cable programming all across Upper Michigan. Be sure in those areas where you have it to check out your pay-per-view guides. You don't have to return the movies. You just call up your Bresnan system and order it on up, and there it is on your TV. 228-2903, the number to call in the Marquette area. Foul will go against Pete Dix. First for Pete, going to the line will be Brian Shorman.
1-1.
42-30, North leads, 4:56 remains in the half. Front end, in and out, rebound, South puts it up and in. 34, Sid Lucas, and he draws the foul.
Basket by Sid Lucas. Foul is on 33. Jason Loxo. Loxo's fourth foul.
Foul against Jason Loxo of the Westwood Patriots. That's his fourth. And so Sid Lucas with 3 points will go to the line.
Sid heading off to the University of Wisconsin Marinette. A major in English, performing arts. And appears he'll walk on for, take a shot at a little more b-ball.
3-pointer for Jake Zaselchik. UW Marinette. Not Marinesco.
That's Marinette.
Only because Marinesco's in Michigan.
I looked closely at the spelling.
Dix will bring it up. Pete scoreless so far. He's got a few assists, though. Zaselchik goes baseline. Feeds it off for teammate Cliff Young. Cliff brings it back out top for Peter Dix. Pete for Jake Zaselchik. Up top, Cliff Young looks down low for Mackey. Finding Shane Peterson. Shane kicks it out to Zaselchik. Drives, dishes. Peterson had the three, didn't take it, drove, put it off the glass and in.
Nice move by Shane. Had the three, but a little head fake and put the defensive player in the air. A couple dribbles around him and off the glass.
Shane Peterson played his high school ball at Munising. Tom Russo, former Ishpeming coach, handled Shane this past season. 25 points a game for Shane.
Basket by Sid Lucas and fouled on the shot. Foul on Cliff Young.
Sid Lucas, 4 points in the ball game as he goes to the line. Three and 41 in the half.
All right, back at counter. Shoot one time. Play it.
Up no good for Lucas. Rebound Tony Mino. South trying to play some tight D. Outrunning it is Matson. Off on the wing. Cleary puts it up. No good. Rebound underneath. Dan Waterman gets the hoop. 5 points for Mr. Waterman. Charging foul against the South.
I think he would have got by with that if he wouldn't have just tried the 360. That turning around and running smack into him. Of course, a little play acting.
Not in the game of basketball.
I thought Sid Lucas was in the performing arts heading in that direction.
Matson spins, dishes. Terry Clement puts it up from long range, and that's a deuce. First bucket for Terry, the colorful and popular individual from the Jeffers Jets. Jason Laquia dishes off for Leonard Thomas. Lentz puts it up, partially blocked. Rebound, Terry Clement, the 5'7" guy, can sky a little.
He is so quick, Dave. He is everywhere on the floor. The North attempting a quick run down the floor, but out of bounds.
Laquia puts up the shot, no good. Rebound, and that is Waterman. He'll push it up the floor. Quickly down to Cleary, but he walked with it.
Lost the handle on the ball just before he tried to pass it. Got a couple little extra steps in there.
Laquia dishes off on the wing. Brad Leedy tried to go baseline, had it knocked away.
The North right now playing real tough defense.
Of course, the Leedy name, also a very familiar UP basketball name, Rich Leedy. Played for D2, I believe he's coaching down in St. Ignace now. Also played for the Northern Wildcats. And Erica Leedy, the women's coach out at Lake Superior State.
Lots of basketball in that name.
That was Brad Leedy with the foul. Waterman goes to the line and will get a timeout on the South with 2:07 to go. Our score, the North 51 and the South 35.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's a couple of gentlemen sitting at the scores table here who have done a lot for high school sports down through the
Girls game, Ginger Weber of Gladstone, the MVP, unofficially with 17 points. As the South got a 99-83 victory. They lead the series now 6-3. Meanwhile, in this boys series, the South won the first 6 ball games, but in the last 2 years, in 92, the North won 94-81 at the Hedgecock Fieldhouse in Marquette, and 89-85 last year here in Crystal Falls. Talked about the scoring records falling in the ladies' game. Well, in the men's, you'd have to get 119 points to break the record. That was set by the South back in 1990.
Right now, the North isn't too far off that pace. If they would continue, come up with another 6-8 points in this period, we might be heading for that direction.
I think it's very possible because we've seen over the past few years the second half is definitely a little more freewheeling than the first.
Yeah, we see a lot more three-pointers getting thrown up.
More threes and more coast to coast.
Of course, we always are waiting for that one breakaway where we got the big man to slam one down behind his head.
Terry Clement with the foul. Jason Laquia will go to the line. Jason scoreless in the ballgame. 18-point lead for the North. Laquia trying to cut into that. Does so with the first. Picks up his first point of the ballgame. Second free throw. And that will go. 2 points for Laquia, 53-37 with 2:07 and counting left in the first half. Matson through the lane, drives, puts it up and can't get it, and he will be called on the charge as establishing his position in the lane was Jason Laquia.
You're talking about Jason with his first point of the game. Jason up in the Powers area, averaging 30 points a game for the season.
For Bob Whiten, North Central Jets. Of course, it was 10 years ago this season that Coach Whitens and players Scott Johnson, Ricky Hansen, Gerald Whitens and company brought the state Class B title home to the Powers, Spalding, Hermansville area. That is Laquia with the deuce. Cuts the North lead to 14. Back in '84 when Powers North Central defeated Detroit East Catholic in that state title game, and they tell me there was a parade all the way from the Mackinac Bridge to downtown Powers.
I tell you what, Dave, anytime you can beat any of these parochial schools from the big cities, it's almost like a recruiting as far as people, as ball players down in the city area. So you come to a little small place like Powers out of the UP. That had to be exciting. There should have been a parade all the way.
Long shot up and good for Bradley. That's a tray, and it's 53-42. Now an 11-point lead. Just a minute ago was 18, so the South chipping away late in the first half. Shot up from Clement, no good. Rebound, Jason Forgette, and a foul. Foul on Steve Matson. Second foul for Steve. And Forgette will go to the line. The Kearney NATO Wolf with 2 points. Number 1 is good for Jason, 3 points, and it's now a 10-point North lead. So the South with a good run here late in the second quarter. Second shot is good. So they've cut the North lead in half over the past couple of minutes. Cleary from Watts. Jeremy Cleary will bring it in. Lost it, but saved it. Pass intended underneath. And good job recovered by Waterman.
Excuse me, Dave, with good double-team pressure there.
Matson gets his first bucket of the game.
But in every case with a double team, there's got to be someone open, and they found it.
Shot no good. 18 seconds to go. Waterman will bring it up. South playing tough D. Terry Clement, baseline. Dishes it behind his back off the body of a South player. So the North will get the ball with 8 seconds remaining in a 55-44 lead. Matson will inbound. Waterman turned around and got it partially blocked. 5 seconds as the South brings it up. Kinnitz stops, pops at the buzzer. No go. At the end of the first half, our score, the North 55 and the South 44. We'll take time out and be back with the second half when UP All-Star basketball continues.
There are some things that improve with age.
U.S. Savings Bonds. casual dining at its
Balanced scoring. The North got 12 from Jake Saselchik, but they've got a lot of other guys, Loxo, Waterman, and Peterson, all in that 7 to 8 point range.
I think that's pretty typical when you put together talent like we have sitting out on that floor today. You're going to probably get some good balanced scoring from both the North and the South. I think you probably, if we look down at the South side, we'd probably be very similar.
The North led it 30 to 17 after one quarter. The South cut that by a deuce in the second, outscoring the North 27 to 25. South will inbound the ball to start the second half. Their leading scorer on the game, Brandon Lawson of Ishpeming, with 9 points. Also kicking in with 6 was Sid Cool Hand Lucas of Big Bay Denok. Matson.
Sid Cool Hand
Lucas. North inbounds, actually. First shot up and no good from Shane Peterson. And the rebound tipped in.
Tipped in, I believe, by one of the South members.
Well, they haven't announced it yet. They haven't decided who to give the bucket to.
Thinking now basketball rules, whoever is standing closest gets the bucket.
And I believe it was Steve Kontratovich that they gave credit to. So we'll give him 2 unofficial points. Check the box score in the paper tomorrow to see if we were right. First foul of the half called. And that'll be on Brandon Lawson, his second, team's first of the second half.
Actually, it would be an interesting thing to find out. I'm really not sure of the ruling. Very possibly the last offensive player who touched the ball may get beat. Give him the 2.
Matson on a sprint, loses control of the ball. South coming back with it, and they've already turned up the gas a little here early in the second. Pass off on the wing for Mike Lasardi. Up top, 3-point attempt, no good for Brandon Lawson.
Good pressure by Shane Peterson on defense there.
Loxo on the rebound. Matson for Loxo off the glass and in. 9 points for Jason Loxo. We're still waiting for that monster dunk. Some point during this half, we guarantee you, almost, that it will happen.
These young men are as good-hearted as they appear to be out there, and if something happens, maybe they'll let them go.
Anything to get on the highlights at 11. Unless you're the guy under the bucket, you don't quite want to be the victim. Shane Peterson, the Munising Mustang, gives it to Matson. Steve off on the side for Waterman. Tried to go inside. Now it'll be Kontratovich into the paint. Puts it up off the iron. No good. Matson rebound. Wouldn't go. Rebound South. Breaking out. Brandon Lawson trying to go coast to coast and gets it. First South player in double figures is Brandon Lawson now with 11. 9:54 to go. Third quarter, 59-46 North. They led it 30 to 17 after one, 55-44 at the half. And we get Waterman, or check that, Loxo going baseline and drawing the foul.
Foul on Sid Lucas. A good hard foul. Nobody out there to hurt anyone, but just wanted to make sure he didn't make that shot.
Loxo at the line. Can't get it to fall.
One shot.
I tell you, between these two games today, that ball spent a lot of time spinning around up on that iron.
Yeah, we talked earlier in the day talking about how tight those irons are. And it's, again, becoming evident.
Loxo hits the second. Air ball underneath. Kinnitz off the glass and in.
Sorry, attempting a nice three-pointer out there, but a member of the North's team got a hand on it.
First hoop of the day for Jamie Kinnitz. Driving for the North was 51 Shane Peterson. South comes away with a rebound. Lawson off the iron. No good. Kontratovich rebound and a foul.
Lawson attempting to follow his little short jumper. A little over-enthusiastic trying to take that ball away.
Third foul on Brandon Lawson. team's third of the second half. Matson to his left, kicks it out. Three-point shot. Peterson.
That's Shane's second three for the game.
And 11 points. And going to the hole was Mike Lasardi, and he got hammered underneath. Waterman gets the foul. That's his third, team first.
Dan had a nice block on the ball, but hit him pretty heavy with the body.
Kind of interesting to see what that is. That number 22, Mike Lasardi's got carved into his hair on the back of his head, taking a page out of Anthony Mason's book or Dennis Rodman's.
Can't quite see it from the distance we're sitting from.
Maybe we can get a close-up on that camera underneath the basket when he's back on defense. Shot up, scoop, no good for Waterman, and the save attempt wouldn't go. And ending up in the front row was Brandon Warland.
Dan Waterman forcing that shot, I think probably with the intention of
There it is.
getting the call.
He's got his jersey number, 22, on his head. Good thing he managed to get his same high school number.
We've solved the hair mystery.
It would have been terrible if they gave him jersey number 24 for the ball game.
Oh, we probably could find a barber in this crowd today.
Just have to shave it off and go numberless. 63-49, North in front. 8:44 to go, third quarter. Dave Danis along with Dale Berglund for Bresnan Communications. Proud to be a sponsor of the UP All-Star Basketball Classic, which benefits the UP Sports Hall of Fame. Kontratovich outside for Loxo. Back up to Steve. Looking for the lane. Couldn't get it. Had to dish. Shane Peterson puts it up. No good. Rebound underneath. Matson. Matson, baseline. Kicks it out. Loxo on the floor. Up in the air. No good. Partially blocked by Sid Lucas. Going end to end, 32 for the South. That was Brandon Warland. Couldn't get it to fall. Rebound, Loxo.
Loxo tough underneath the boards.
Matson, the behind-the-back dribble. Fancy stuff, but it didn't pay off as Lusardi got a hand in there.
Sometimes that behind-the-back pass dribble, works to your advantage, and some of that through-the-leg movement may work to your advantage. But in the long run, straight old good dribbling.
Parrish. Out
got
to
away.
Cliff Young. May have traveled a little bit. But then again, may not have. Second shot up and good, out of bounds, off of Corky Parrish. Well, not off of Corky Parrish. Ruled off of a South player. And Alan Mackey will do the inbounding. Selchik, team's leading scorer in the first half with 12. Can't get that one to fall.
Attempting to bring it back out for the offense to start over, and tipped out of bounds by the South.
Jake Selchik still undecided whether he will attend St. Scholastica in Duluth or go Giebich and play for Deke Rotho in Ironwood.
St. Scholastica with a budding basketball program, kind of on a rebuild. Excellent school academically. Nice campus. Sitting up on top of the hill in Duluth.
Eric Ferris, the coach, out at St. Scholastica. Bringing it up for the South, number 20, Brian Shorman. Haven't talked much about Bryant since early in the game. That ball knocked away from Don Bunnan. Underneath, shot up for Kip Miller, and he draws the foul.
Cliff Young on the foul Again, not much choice. Either a nice gentle push towards the baseline to make sure we didn't make that easy basket.
First shot for Miller will not go.
Kip Miller, a 6'5" young man out of Escanaba.
Second one will. 6 points for Kip. 6:43 left. 63-50 in favor of the North. Cliff Young for Saselchik. Jake kicks it out to Peter Dix. Pete for Corky Parrish. Head fake. Not clocked by Tony Creed. Finally has to give it away, and a timeout called by Saselchik.
You take a look at the North squad there. Pete Dix rather quiet offensively today, Dave. And it appears that the South, I think, has his number before they came here, because they are playing excellent defense on Pete.
Well, Pete averaged 21.6 points a game for Jim Bronzik at Dollar Bay.
Along being Class D Player of the Year.
First team All-Stater, 5 rebounds and 5 steals a game also among Pete's repertoire.
They're quiet here this afternoon.
Jim Brunzik and Irv Dieterle, the North coaches, down on the south side. Rick Olds of Iron Mountain and Gary Flynn of Superior Central. And what an amazing season the Superior Central Cougars had, going all the way to the state finals. Congratulations to Rick and Jamie Kinnitz and all the other members of that Cougar squad.
Talked about playing a little ball with Rick Olds and his brother. Used to do a lot of ball playing, and for one of the inductees this year, Gordy Leduc, good friend of mine, played a lot of ball together. He's a good friend of my brother's. Gordy having a heck of a coaching career. Little St. Paul out of Nagani no longer exists. Bishop Baraga out of Marquette no longer exists. And a couple other spots.
Gordy spent the game or two in the analyst seat, which you occupy today. Of course, Gordy's, for a number of years, helped out the TV broadcasts on the UP tournament games at the Hitchcock Fieldhouse.
Gordy also helping out almost as a ball boy, semi-assistant coach, a little bit of everything, working under Stan Albeck, Glenn Brown, then at Northern Michigan University, and moving on to do some coaching himself.
You talk about Northern Michigan University and some of the places their former coaches have gone. Of course, Stan Albeck coached about a half a dozen NBA teams, along with collegiate programs at Bradley and Denver.
And I think his Stan is back at Bradley, if I'm not mistaken. It is alma mater.
Shot up by Mackey, takes the hard foul from John Wolf.
Should be 3 shots at the line.
And that's what the officials are discussing, and indeed it will be 3. For Alan Mackey. Mention he played for Tom Cottle, first team all-conference, first team all-UP, all-state honorable mention. And he will play for Deke Rotho at Gogebic Community College in Ironwood. And I tell you, that's a good program they've got at Gogebic, because as a player, as a young player especially, with the need to develop some of your skills, you can go in and play right away, as opposed to going to a 4-year school where you're maybe going to sit the bench for a couple of years plus a redshirt year. You can go in and play and improve those skills you need to improve, and then you can transfer to a Division II or a Division III school, or maybe if you do well enough, a Division I school, and take those improved skills with you. Meanwhile, if you go to, say, a small school and things aren't working out for you in the program, if you transfer in your own division or transfer up, you lose a year of eligibility.
Yeah.
So that JUCO program is just an excellent feeder system.
Plus, it's a good opportunity for a young man, first time away from home. He also has to think about academics other than just the sports life. And the small atmosphere helps their student life as well as their athletic life.
And in a lot of cases allows a kid to stay a little closer to home than he would have to
Right, going away to a larger school.
In fact, I know several players of these boys and girls teams, they've already decided to play 2 years of JUCO, and then they have the school picked where they will go after that. A couple are going to Lakeland, and others will attempt, such as Northern Michigan or Michigan Tech, or Northland in Wisconsin.
Basket there by John Wolf. Beautiful pass from Pete Dix to Alan Mackey. Just couldn't quite finish.
Shot up will not go for Don Bunnan. Corky Parrish underneath. Mackey couldn't get the reverse layup to go. Parrish rebound and draws the foul.
Mackey, an excellent ball player, just a little shy on these under the basket shots. Coach Dearly over there cheering him on.
Corky Parrish at the line. 2 points, 4 points in the ball game. First one won't go. Talked about Jim Brunswick being around for a while at Dollar Bay. Irv's been at Westwood for a year or two.
I think he's right in the process of trying to decide whether he's going to continue or hang up his shoe.
South ball, Don Bunnan underneath, and the big block on John Wolf. And Wolf will go to the line. Siselchik, who made the block, also got called for the fouls. So Jake has 2, 4 team fouls, and the shooting foul sends John Wolf to the line.
Gets the first.
Cuts that North lead to 15-14 with the second. 69-55.
Just under 5 minutes remaining in the third.
Pete Dix hustling across the 10-second line, hounded by Shorman. Siselchik looking inside. Knocked away, but Mackey will pick up the loose ball. Jake from 3 can't get it. Rebound comes down. 14, John Wolf up court. And John gets some interference from behind from Pete Dix.
Ball's at 13, Pete Dix to Dollar Bay for the second. 15 ball on the corner.
15 ball, no bonus situation yet.
Second personal on Pete Dix. South trailing by 14. Underneath pass was intended for Wolf, picked off. That'll be Siselchik racing into the lane. Puts it up, soft touch, won't go. Rebound. Siselchik hauls it down off the glass, partially blocked. Parrish couldn't bring it in.
Down at the other end, John Bunnan got up in the air and had nowhere to go. So his pass went awry.
Shorman with his first bucket. South has carved that North lead. They've gotten within 12. Dix, Mackey for 3, no good. Rebound. Dix underneath, and he will get called for the travel. And Jim Bronzik expressing a little dismay over on the bench. Hey, Jimmy, the refs are a little rusty, too.
I think I would be a little dismayed at that call also. It didn't look like much of a traveling call. He got fouled, at least from this perspective.
Yeah, you can be dismayed in March, but not in June.
Oh, I wish I wouldn't have said that. But we're not wearing stripes today, so we'll let the gentleman on the floor make the calls.
You can't do a game without getting on a ref at some point, especially if you're the guest analyst.
You can always have an opinion.
Might not be right.
That's right. That's what's nice about an opinion. No one claims it to be right.
We'll give it go underneath for Brad Levy. Had it knocked away, but he draws the foul.
Good defense by Jeremy Cleary. Hustle back. He got called for the foul, but probably a sure layup if he had.
Each team with 16 fouls, so the next will put him in bonus territory. Kicked out, coming into the lane, dished off, 34. Sid Lucas puts it up and can't get it to go. Rebound underneath, and a foul will be called. And will it be on Peterson or Mino?
See who they give it to.
Also 51, Shane Peterson.
It is Shane Peterson, second for Shane, team 7, so that does put the South in the bonus.
Good head fake by Jason Forget, causing both those guys to get off their feet. And did the proper thing and attempted to throw up another shot.
First shot for Jason is up and in.
Knowing full well he didn't have a prayer of making it, but he did draw the foul.
And Jason can't get the second to go. Rebound South, jump ball, and South will retain possession. LeQuee will inbound. Shot up, won't go for Sid Lucas. Rebound underneath, and not getting it to fall was Brad Leedy. South getting some shots, finally taken away by the North. Taken back by the South. Here comes Leedy. Leedy had it tapped away, picked up, and a foul called. Sid Lucas was the last South player with the ball. He'll go to the line.
Nice passing to Brad Lee. Both behind the back.
Foul goes against Shane Peterson. Sid Lucas at the line with 6 points. All 6 of those coming in the first half, 2 in the first, 4 in the second. One and one for the Big Badenoch Black Bear. Off the iron and in.
Off that tight iron. And still in.
Second won't go. South retains possession. Three-pointer, no good. Rebound underneath. Lucas off the glass and in.
Good strong rebound.
Sid, cool hand. Lucas with 9 points. I've been watching too many old movies.
Those points coming off of offensive rebounds, Dave, that just shows a sign of good hustle.
69-61. South trying to cut that North lead to 6. Three-pointer, no good. Rebound underneath. Tossed up, no good. What an effort by Jason Forget.
On his way to the floor.
The colorful and popular Terry Clement brings it up, dishes off to Natson. The future Husky giving it over to Jason Loxo. Clement into the lane. Got it knocked away. Loxo tied up. Jump ball north. Tried to figure out what was different about Terry Clement. If you take a look at his socks, he's got dark socks. Looks like a little fringe on the right shoe. I guess that's where colorful comes from.
Maybe that's it. I thought he had,
He's got something colorful taped on that shoe.
I thought maybe he had boxing shoes on.
Kind of looks like it, doesn't it?
Professional wrestler.
Maybe when he's down there in the lane, we can get a look at it. Head fake, dished out. Kicked out again. Leonard Thomas. Out deep and getting knocked to the deck was Jason LeQuee.
Was he in three-point land?
There you see the right shoe of Terry Clement. Terry, stand still for a minute so we can get a better look at that.
Oh, that's an extra wrap. With some laces coming over the top of the shoes. It's an ankle wrap. That's it.
Colorful ankle wrap.
That's it.
Up and good for LeQuee, 5 points. The North Central Jet. And the second one will go. Now here comes number 3.
I guess that answers the question. He was out past the line on that long distance shot attempt.
Couldn't get it to go. Rebound South. Off the glass. No good. Rebound and a foul. And the South will be going back to the line as Brad Lee is doing some serious battling along with Sid Lucas for the South off the north glass. Loxo will get the foul. That'll be his 5th.
Jason not happy about the call. Had a few words with one of the gentlemen in stripes.
At the line, Jason Forget, 5 points for the Kearney NATO ball player.
Just under a minute and a half.
Up and in 69-63. This is the closest the South has been since early in the ball game. North at 1 point, led by 18.
18 now down to 6. Maybe we cut it to 5. Just under a minute 30 in the third.
I tell you, the North has gone stone cold here in the third quarter. They've only scored 14 points. Shot up, no good, as the South tried to cut it to 4. Shane Peterson having some trouble. South at the press. North breaks it. Shot up, way short. As Jeremy Cleary gets nothing but air. Foul on the North, going to the line will be Leedy.
Brad Leedy doing a good job. Little 360.
Third foul on Jeremy Cleary.
See if we can drop these free throws now.
First one will go for Brad Leedy, 4 points. Every player on the South squad has at least 1 point, with the exception of Len Thomas of St. Ignace. Meanwhile, for the North, Jeremy Cleary and Pete Dix, the only members absent from the scoring column.
Leedy cuts it to 4 points, 69-65. The North still in a 4-point lead.
Carries the net off the glass and in. Count it and go to the line. Five points in the second half to go with 8 in the first. 13 on the game for Shane Peterson. Looking for number 14, and that was a big bucket. That broke a long South run. Couldn't add the free throw. Rebound South. 41 seconds left in the half. 6-point lead for the North. Leedy gets the roll. 7 for Brad Leedy.
South putting full court pressure. Trapped defense.
So I tell you, that gets frustrating to handle. Shot up, blocked by Sid Lucas on Tony Mino.
Nice clean block by Cool Hand.
Peterson gets the deuce. 15 for Shane, 6-point lead for the North. 7 seconds left. Leedy, 4 seconds. 2, 1, dishes it way too late. After 3 quarters, our score, the North 73, the South 67. Stick around. A stirring fourth quarter yet to come.
Casual dining at its best.
Outscoring the North by a 33-18 margin. Shot up, no good. And the foul will go against Shane Peterson. Shane walking away with a little limp.
No, Brad Lee. Brad Lee? Yep.
Pardon me. Sorry, Shane. Pardon me, not 33-18, 23-18 in favor of the South in that quarter.
Well, Dave, do you think we can, about 11 minutes, a little over 11 minutes left, can we pick a, do as well as we did on the girls game and pick a MVP yet? Give you a few minutes to check over your stats.
Early favorite is Shane Peterson.
I'd have to agree right at this point in time. Unless things change, I probably would have to stick with that.
Call Vegas, check the betting line. But Shane at the line, the early favorite.
I think we...
throw won't go. Jinxed them.
I think with the girls' game, we waited till about 8 minutes left, so we better give it a little bit more time.
Matson up at the top. Moves around the pick. Still with the ball. Dan Waterman trying to spin away from the defense. Kicks it out. Loxo with the J. No good. Rebound. Matson underneath. Gets it to go. 4 points for Steve. That one won't go. Rebound, Waterman. Waterman across the timeline. Into three-point land. Dishes off. Matson for three. Won't go. Rebound underneath. And it's taken by Brad Leedy. Brad stops, pops for three. No go. Rebound. Nice job to get underneath by Sid Lucas, but not quite quick enough.
Sid way up in the air on that one, but just bounced off his leg.
Still looking for that thunderous dunk. Somewhere it's got to happen here in the fourth quarter.
They're always fun. There's nothing better that brings the crowd into the game than a big thunder dunk, especially from high school kids.
75-67, North leads, trying to extend that to 10. Loxo, and it's blocked from behind by Jamie Kenneth, and they will call the foul. Jamie doesn't think so, but the officials do, so going to the line will be Mr. Loxo. Jason with 10 points in the ball game.
South taking a little timeout. Talk things over. See if we can chew up a little bit of that 8-point lead. They had it down to 4. Shane Peterson came through with a nice jump shot. Put it back to the line, and we're back up to an 8-point deficit. But still a lot of time, 10.5 minutes left.
Today's game brought to you by Bresnan Communications. Featuring the Bresnan Home Theater pay-per-view movies at home in Marquette. Call 228-2903 for more details. No tapes to rewind, no tapes to return. Just give us a call and the movie will be there on your screen if you want to see it. And by J.J. Shamrock, featuring the finest outdoor patio dining in the UP. Stop by on Wednesdays for a pound of Cajun or barbecued shrimp for just a measly $6.95. J.J. Shamrock, 113 South Front Street in Marquette. North with an 8-point lead. Going to the line is Loxo. He's got 10 points in the ball game. First one off the iron, no good.
Loxo playing tough underneath, Dave.
Second one won't go either, but the rebound hauled down by Dan Waterman. Waterman taking the great circle route underneath. Blocked, rebound. Kontratovich can't get it in, but he gets the foul. South doing some banging on the board. Sid Lucas, a big bay to knock, has been a force underneath. But I believe it will be Sid that draws the foul, and it is his third. Kontratovich at the line. Steve had the first 2 buckets for the North of the ball game, but has only had 2 points since. 6 on the afternoon. Here's one for Steve.
A little roll out of the unforgiving rims.
And gets number 2. Drops it in there, and it's again a 10-point North lead. Mike Lasardi off on the wing and getting tied up is Brandon Lawson. Among those tying up Brandon, Shane Peterson. North gets the ball on the possession arrow.
And a group of others.
Waterman had it tipped away by Lasardi. Diving interception attempt. Shane Peterson managed to get a hand on the ball. Couldn't get the ball in the hoop, but Loxo does. And 12 points now for John Loxo. And a 12-point lead for the North. Lasardi spin move off the glass. No good. Rebound, Loxo. Matson.
Jason Loxo working hard. Both ends of the court.
3 for Shane, no good. Rebound underneath Kinnitz. Lasardi out on the wing for Brandon Warland. Hard iron, won't go. Foul underneath. Loose ball foul. North ball. And that will go against Sid Lucas. And that's 4 for Big Sid.
Steve Katranovich will be at the free throw line.
Katranovich at the line. Hit the last 2, 8 points this afternoon. Won't go. Rebound, Loxo. Turnaround. Partially blocked by Kinnitz, but he gets the foul. Good intention, but he got more than ball.
Just a tad.
His third, Jason Loxo at the line.
Again, good extra effort by Jason Loxo.
19 points a game for Irv Dieterle at Westwood this past season for Jason. 16 points a game over his career. Second team all-conference both his junior and senior years.
He gets the first to fall. And the second.
14 now for Jason.
14 for Jason and a 14-point lead.
Jason's quickly moving himself into that MVP running.
He's getting close. We still got about a minute and 13 left before we can make our call. Although I guess we could wait till we can make the call just before it's officially done.
Shane Peterson, leading scorer for the North with 15. Jake Saselchik has 12 and 14 for Wasco. Meanwhile, for the South, who have not scored in the first 3 minutes of this quarter, 11 points. The leading scorer, Brandon Lawson of Ishpeming, followed by Sid Lucas with 9. Corky Parrish.
Jake starting the day off strong.
Nice play underneath to get to Cliff Young, and Cliff draws the foul and will go to the line.
Ball's got Sid Lucas.
Number 5 on Sid Lucas.
Lucas with 5 balls.
Number 1, good for Cliff Young.
Sid being a strong rebounder for the South. They really can't afford to lose him.
Second one won't go for Cliff. Honorable mention All-Stater. Going to play at Lakeland next year. Or play football, rather, at Lakeland in Sheboygan, Wisconsin.
Mike Lasardi with a 3-point attempt. Again, those bouncy rims. Put that one up on the top of the backboard.
15-point lead. Saselchik. Over for Mackey for 3, no good. Rebound underneath. Corky Parrish had it swatted away with authority, but Pete Dix corrals the loose ball. Underneath, Saselchik with the drive. That's Jake's first bucket since the second quarter. Steal by the North.
By Mackey.
Mackey for Peter Dix. 17-point lead again. The South had cut it to 4. Cliff Young out to Mackey. Head fake. Keeps the dribble. Watched by Lasardi. Saselchik for Pete Dix. Into the lane. Tripped up by Brandon Warland. Send them off for 2 minutes. North on the power play.
Little inadvertent tripping there.
13
changing the squad. I think all 5 for the moment.
Checking in, Len Thomas and John Wolf, the backcourt. Also for the South, Don Bunnan's in the game, as is Brian Shorman, the pair from Iron Mountain, and Tony Creighton of Gladstone. Another turnover for the South. That's been the problem here in the fourth.
I don't have free throw stats for the day, Dave, but I would imagine from official scorekeeping, free throw stats do not look good on either side of it, north or the south.
The South has been scoreless through the first 4.5 minutes of this fourth quarter. 3-point attempt will not go for Don Bunnan. Rebound, North. Pete Dix, nice save by number 13.
Good hustle by Pete.
Mackey. For Cliff Young. The tray. Hard iron. Won't go. Rebound. Mackey with the touch. 9 points for Alan Mackey.
Mackey has
turnover.
Mackey probably has the softest touch on the floor.
Great vision by Pete Dix to find Mackey, but Mackey could not convert. Almost midway through the fourth. Into the lane, tipped away, and a foul against the North. So with 6:48 to go, 6:12 gone in the fourth, we'll see if John Wolf can get the first South point of the quarter. You know, we were talking the way they got off on a run that they could break the high scoring record. The low scoring record is 78 points by the North squad in both 1990 and 1991. So the South has to break through that.
And,
they need another 10.
The way they've been going, they may have difficulty doing it.
They got one. First 1 point here in the quarter.
North now with a pure 20-point lead.
Selchuk couldn't get it to fall. Pass off on the wing. Don Bunnan, baseline, underneath, intended for Shorman, had it tipped away. A 13-1 start for the fourth quarter for the North. Up and in. Kip Miller of Escanaba. 8 points on the ball game for Kip. Dix puts on the brakes. Sneakers squeaking on the hardwood. Selchuk lost it to Brian Shorman. Shorman tossed up and in by John Wolf. So the South starting to get a little warmer here in the fourth after a cold start. Dix, long outlet pass for Alan Mackey. Allen for Pete Dix, cutting into the lane. Dishes off, and we get a whistle.
The block foul.
And that block will go against Tony Creighton. Pete Dix at the line, still looking to dent the score sheet. There he goes. Pete's on the scoreboard. Unless we missed one earlier somewhere.
No, I think that was it. I think he might have been at the line early in the game, but
First free throw. 2 for 2 for Mr. Dix, and it's 88-72, 5.5 to go. Long shot, good for Shorman. 4 points for Bryant.
cuts the lead to 14.
Give and go. Dix down underneath. 53. Tony Mino with the juice. Dix and Waterman worked that to perfection. Tony Mino the beneficiary. And another hoop for Brian Shorman. So 4 quick points for Brian.
Nice move by Brian. Little 360 spin through the lane, past all the defenders. Nice layup.
Loxo inside. Waterman. Couldn't get it to fall. Rebound. Good. 9 points for Waterman. His first hoop of the second half. 92-76. The North chipping away at that 100-point mark. Tossed out. Three-pointer. Kit Miller. No go. Rebound underneath. Loxo. Loxo tied up. Tried to dish it off. Waterman the save. Off of the South player, and the shot up and in. Three-pointer for Don Bunnin, a three. I tell you, Waterman did the smart thing, trying to bank it off the South player out of bounds, but it didn't go out, and Bunnin recovered and dropped the tray. Loxo now with 16. And a timeout called by the South, 94-79, North leading it by 15.
Jason Loxo having an excellent second half. And like I said earlier, working hard at both ends. Offensive rebounds and on the defensive end.
94-79. We mentioned the South won the first 6 All-Star Classics. All played at the Hedgecock Fieldhouse. The North has won the last 2. One at Hedgecock and one here in Crystal Falls, and they're looking pretty good for a 3rd consecutive victory.
Yeah, unless something drastically changes, I think the North can chalk up another victory.
MVPs from last year's game, Barry Sager of Ishpeming for the boys, and Shayna DeKramer of Ewan Trout Creek for the girls. Of course, Shayna went on to play this year at Michigan Tech, and you take a look at some of the names that have been MVPs throughout the history of the UP All-Star Game. Frank Jerks of Iron Mountain, the first time in the guys. Dan Beadle of Gwynn went on to a stellar career at Northern Michigan. Matt Wonders, also of Iron Mountain in 1990. Eric Racine of Ishpeming in 92. Both of those guys playing for Dean Ellis's Wildcats. And Mike Ojala of Ewan Trout Creek, who went on to play at Wisconsin Stevens Point. Meanwhile, in the girls' games, Deanna Sutton, former Wildcat standout center, was the 2nd MVP. Kristen Hager played for Michigan Tech. She was the MVP in '88. And Minnesota's Lisa Roll, who played her high school ball at North Dickinson just a couple of years back. So Upper Michigan certainly putting out some fine basketball talent.
South trying to put on some extra pressure.
Long pass, tipped away.
Did it pay off? Yes, it did.
Underneath, behind the back, another one in the lane.
Little razzle-dazzle that turned out just fine.
The guys in the booth wind that one back, because when we get a whistle, I want to see that one again. Terry Clement inside the three-point line for Waterman. Terry again. And it's taken away. Here comes the
just be the dunk.
Norman. Nope. Thinker.
I thought it might have been our dunk for the night, Dave.
94-83. No foul. There's some interesting play, and the call will be against Mike Lusardi.
If we don't get a dunk in the game, that last little razzle-dazzle will have to do us.
Let's take a look at that last bucket for the South. Watch the great save you saw by Lawson. Then they work it down. Leedy underneath the Lusardi for the hoop. Now, if we don't get a dunk, Dale, you're going to have to go in with about 48 seconds to go to slam one down. They wouldn't let you play in the NIT. We'll get you in the high school
All-Stars. Get me in the high school All-Stars. I said it was pretty bad when you're owner, coach, manager, everything, and I can't even play.
And your team's up by 70.
That's right. They wouldn't let me in.
Brad Leedy, of course, the Shamrock team, defending champs this year, and then came back to take a second-place finish in the Nagani Invitational, but Gilby just wouldn't let you in the game.
No. It was funny. I said, Gil, how come you don't put me on the player roster? He said, we never get ahead by that many points. And as it was that day, we won by 70.
When they won't let you play when you're ahead by 70, that's when it's time to embark on the broadcast career.
Yep. have fun.
Foul on Leonard Thomas of St. Ignace. 9-point lead for the North. Waterman will try and make it 10 as he tries to score his 10th point of the game, and he does.
Well, they were down by 20, Dave, and I said, unless something drastic happens, they've cut that lead to 10.
Well, remember late in the third quarter how they made that run.
Pressure defense, trap pressure defense is working well. So
Thomas will go to the line.
good drive by Len. Forced foul.
Pete Dix the foul. Third one on Pete.
Couple free throws here, and then maybe a couple three-pointers, and it's a new ball game.
Well, Leonard Thomas can't get the first one in.
The unforgiving West End rim.
And Thomas gets the second. It's 10 points. The North lead, 96-86. Matson trying to break that pressure, bursting through like a fullback. Ball nearly taken away, and here it comes. Leonard Thomas lays it up, and no good. Matson with the rebound. Leonard Thomas had every opportunity on that one and just couldn't get the bounce. You mentioned Steve Matson will go off to play at Michigan Tech. 3 years on the all-conference team, 2 years MVP in the West Pac. Steady progression as a sophomore, second-team All-UP, first-team All-UP junior year, and Dream Team and All-State first team as a senior. He'll join the mechanical engineering program, and I tell you, Michigan Tech, very challenging school academically.
One shot.
Sometimes you can tell by these athletes, Dave, when they're good and they spend the time and the work and the dedication it takes to become a caliber ball player like we have out here on the floor. You find that most of them are also very good students.
Well, a lot of that drive that translates into success on the court helps for success in the classroom. Speaking of success, Shane Peterson on the deuce, his first bucket of the quarter. But it's the ability to self-motivate that pays off no matter what you're doing. Off the hands of Matson, out of bounds. Buck 46 left in the game, 99-86.
Well, it should be about time for our pick here, Dave. It's either Mr. Peterson or Jason Lasko. I don't...
Layup no good. Lacho with the rebound. Managed to get it off. Matson feeds it ahead. Peterson underneath. Waterman off the glass. And that breaks the 100-point mark. And also gives Waterman 12 on the day. 101-86 our score. North. No good. Rebound Laxo. Pete Dix. Up ahead. The dish. Shane Peterson. It gets the bucket. Tell you, Shane and Laxo, they're coming down this last couple minutes. I've got them about dead even as far as MVP goes, and it's going to be...
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. I think what happens sometimes in this type of activity, like Shane Peterson being the ABC Player of the Year, maybe a little more out in the public eye. Sometimes that, if it's a tie type of situation, then sometimes it's probably deserving to both, but usually works in the favor of
the more noted
player.
Cross-court pass with Sardi, looking for some room at the 3 line. There's the shot from outside. That was Brian Shorman. Lasko looking under the bucket. He's saying, feed me the ball. I want to dunk. Peterson off the head of Brad Leedy.
I I've seen them bounce it off people's arms and off their knees and off their legs. That's the first one I've seen off the head.
Now, who was it in the NBA a few weeks ago that fired an inbounds pass off the face of an opponent? And I'm thinking it was Danny Ainge.
Danny Ainge wouldn't do anything like that.
Take another look.
There we go. Watch this. Yeah, there. Where Shane got up in the air, had nowhere to go, and just bounced it off the head of the opponent.
Here comes the outlet for LeQuay. Dishes back off the glass. No good. Rebound. 2 seconds at the buzzer. Let's go.
That rim was just brutal.
Our final score, the North 106, the South 86. We'll take time out and come back to wrap up the day's activity when the UP High School All-Star Classic continues.
Casual dining at its best.